What is your name and your current occupation? So my name is Rebel Abraham. My current occupation, I'm actually the CEO and co-founder of a not-for-profit organization called Aspiring Young Africans Foundation. So we're based out in Melton. Obviously, I still live in Melton. So we do a lot of programs at schools and various places centered around engaging young people. What year did you start and graduate at MCC? So I started back in 2013 in year 8, and I graduated in 2017, obviously in year 12, and that's why I'm class of 2017, somewhere on the back of this jacket. What brought you to MCC? My parents, obviously, but so we moved from Adelaide to Melbourne. So my dad was working here in Melbourne, and so our family moved over here. And my parents had gotten a house in Melton. We were staying in St Albans. So I went to St Albans Secondary College for year 7. Then our house was finally finished. But the thing was, my parents had already enrolled me at MCC. So before we even moved into our new house, we were traveling from St Albans all the way to MCC. So it was a good 1-hour trip every morning for February and March until we moved here. The reason my parents moved us specifically to MCC though was because of our Christian faith. So grew up in a Christian household, and my dad and mom had basically spoken to someone who had recommended the school, and my dad had read like the information about the school and saw like the values that MCC embodies, and he really wanted my sister and I to attend here because of those values, so it'd be imparted onto us. How has MCC helped shape your life and career? Oh, a lot of ways. So MCC was really good for me because it gave me a core Christian foundation that I could come back to once I went into the real world. So MCC, for example, taught me the value of integrity and accountability and responsibility as well too. And that shaped everything from my studies at university to the organization that I'm now running as well too. Everything is about trying to be your best self. I feel like that's what MCC, the staff, the other students, and I guess the culture at the school really pushed into me, and I'm forever grateful for that. What do you love about MCC? There was a lot. I feel like one of the best things about MCC was the school canteen, and specifically the brownies and soft serve. I don't know if that's still available at the school. Okay, I thought like Diabetes Australia or something would have taken it off, but that's good. So that was probably one of the things that I loved was the canteen. Another thing that I loved at MCC was chapel, being able to come and worship God every week on a Thursday or a Friday. It always changed. That was something that still kind of is a habit for me, like whether it's going to church or Bible study. That was something I really loved at MCC, just being comfortable in learning about God and being able to worship God openly as well too. And Bible class as well too, I really loved that. I also loved just, I guess, how hard the teachers worked to ensure that students felt supported at the school. I know that we had like a lot of well-being programs, a lot of like quick start programs and things like that as well to help us with our studies. So those are probably some of the key things that I love about MCC. How have you seen MCC change over the years? For one, I feel like the building's got like a big upgrade. Like I remember in year 11 when our gym got opened, and we barely even got to use it. So I feel like all the younger students are spoiled now. But that was one key thing. And I feel like another thing that MCC's kind of changed over the years is just how big it is. When I first entered into MCC, I think I was like the 300th student or something from like prep to year 12. There's only like 300 students or something like that, could be mistaken. But now I think there's over 1,000, something like that. So, which is pretty crazy. but still walking through the hallways and stuff, I can still see how like it's still a tight-knit community within MCC. So some things have changed, but some things at the core have still stayed the same, which is good to see. Can you share a special memory from your time at MCC? Yeah, there's probably quite a few. I think one that really comes to mind was our our end of year assembly in 2017, where all the year 12s came up and they gave us certificates, and there were some students that we hadn't seen for like months, stuff like that, because it was after exams. And just being back with people that you've seen every day for 5 years was a really special memory. So that's probably a core memory for me. A funny story, your time here at MCC. Let me go back to this question. I think probably one of the funniest, one that I can remember from year 8 was having to do cross country and thinking that I could actually do cross country. Or not cross country, what was it? Not the beep test, how we had to do the creek run, that was what it was, the creek run. And I remember just being like, oh yes, I can do the creek run, why not? And then I remember people in my year level just going, why do you want to do the creek run? The creek run is only for sporty people. I was like, no, it's just a run around the creek. Then I had never seen the creek. And so we got taken to the creek and I was like, that's not a creek, isn't that like a lake? It was so long and it was like, you had to run around, I think it was like 2.5 kilometers or something twice. And for me, I was like, whoa, I don't think I've ever run more than 200 meters or something at a sports carnival, let alone 2.5 kilometers. And so I started jogging. I was jogging and jogging and jogging. And I was like, whoa, we must be halfway done. And I saw my mates walking and I was jogging, but it was kind of like that slow walk jog kind of vibe. And my mates that were walking were almost like next to me. And I was like, okay, there's a problem here. And I was like, hey guys, are we almost done? They're like, Rebel, we've only done 300 meters. And that was probably like the moment I knew that I was not a runner, so. What message would you like to share with MCC as it celebrates its 40th anniversary? I think my message is one of gratitude. Thank you for being a safe space for me, for being a space where I can learn and grow. I think MCC at its core is a place to equip young people with the skills they need, whether it's learning skills, spiritual skills, or just life skills. And I think at its core, MCC is a place for young people to grow and learn together, to become the best adults possible that they can be. And so just a message of gratitude and thank you for all these wonderful years at MCC.